Willie D Live.
What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you're representing. Throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you'll be in the loop. I'm going to let a few hundred of y'all come in, then I'm going in. But in the meantime and in between time, I'm going to get some shots out to the early birds, starting with dun, dun, dun. Bookie Martin, what's up? Gail Melvin, what it do? First word, fist. Yeah. Miss Lily, what's up, Miss Lily? Cameron, what it do? See Antonio White. Mary Nash. What's up, Mary Nash? Sweet beloved. What it do? Ronnie, I see you. Who's this? Mary Nell Dingle. Amazing Love. China Carter. What's up, China? African Pride. What it do? Derek Mallory. What's up, twin Romeo? What up, what up, what up? Chanel Labart. Christopher A.M. I got to go in, fam. Christopher I am. Going in. Man, let's get into this story. We got the Justice Department withholding information from the Epstein files related to Trump. Not just withholding, but removing some of the files. Yeah, fam. Can you believe it? Can you believe this government of ours, this honest, hardworking, working for the people, you know, everybody pay for their crimes, crime and punishment, law and order. You do a crime, you gonna do the time. They got to put you in jail, even if you're a first-time offender, just trying to put you in jail. Everybody got to do some time. Commit a crime, you're doing some time. You know, they even made a song about it. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Yeah, don't do it. Beretta, what y'all know about Beretta? Yeah. So the Justice Department has withheld some Epstein files related to allegations that Donald Trump, your president, sexually abused a minor, an NPR investigation finds. It also removed some documents from the public database where accusations against Jeffrey Epstein also mention Trump. Some files have not been made public despite a law mandating their release. These include what appear to be more than 50 pages of FBI interviews, as well as notes from conversations with a woman who accused Trump of S.A.ing her decades ago when she was just a minor, a little girl. She was just a little girl. NPR reviewed multiple sets of unique serial numbers appearing before and after the pages in question, stamped onto documents in the Epstein Files database, FBI case records, emails, and discovery documents, logs in the last tranche of documents published at the end of January. NPR's investigation found dozens of pages that appear to be cataloged by the Justice Department, but not shared publicly. The Justice Department declined to answer NPR's questions on the record about these specific files, what's in them, and why they are not published. After publication, the Justice Department reached out to NPR, taking issue with how its responses to questions were framed. Department of Justice spokeswoman Natalie Balsareri reiterated DOJ's stance that any documents not published or privileged or duplicates are related to an ongoing federal investigation. Following NPR's reporting, The House Oversight Committee's ranking member, Representative Robert Garcia of Democratic California, released a statement about the missing files. Yesterday, I reviewed unredacted evidence logs at the Department of Justice Oversight. Democrats can confirm that the DOJ appears to have illegally withheld FBI interviews with this survivor who accused President Trump of heinous crimes, Garcia stated. So the Democrats on the House Oversight Committee have already been investigating these allegations against the president and will now open a parallel investigation into the DOJ's decision not to release these particular documents. Other files scrubbed from public view, you're going to be interested in this, fam, pertain to a separate woman who was a key witness for the prosecution in the criminal trial of Epstein's co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell, who is serving a 20-year prison sentence for sex trafficking. Maxwell is seeking clemency from Trump, which she is certain to get. I heard they bought her a puppy. Yeah, they moved her to a real nice, what they call them, camps. What they call them, real cushy. They call them Camp Fed. Moved her to Camp Fed and bought her a puppy. Like, they bought her a puppy. You know, see, that's what run me hot more than anything, fam. You know, all the stuff they done, don't nothing run me hot more than them buying her a puppy. Because they ain't buy me no puppy. You know, I had to go in there. I had to be lonely. I was all by myself, man. You know, just me and my chank. I was ready. You know, I didn't have no puppy for what they call it, for emotional support. They didn't buy me a puppy. They just threw me in there, man, and threw me some bed covers and, you know, threw my mattress in there and everything and said, hey, man, have at it. They bought her a puppy. Wow. Absolutely wow, man. They bought her a puppy. Okay, so check this out. The Democrats have probed the DOJ's alleged withholdings of the Epstein files on Trump. Democrats say they want to see. DOJ says it has released less than 1% of Epstein files and is still reviewing more than 2 million documents. Democrats on the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee are investigating whether, let me make this a little larger so y'all can read along. Makes it harder for me to read because it's larger. So Democrats on the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee are investigating whether the Justice Department purposely withheld materials in its release of the Jeffrey Epstein files that include sexual assault allegations against Donald Trump. Representative Robert Garcia, the ranking member of the panel, said in a statement Tuesday that such an act by the DOJ would violate the law Congress passed in November, which required the administration to publicly release all files in its possession related to the federal case against Epstein, a convicted sex offender. Garcia also said it also would run afoul of the subpoenas the Oversight Committee separately transmitted to the DOJ last summer as part of its own Epstein investigation. So what we have here, family, is a failure to comply. We got our government, our sacred government, being accused of not only protecting Donald Trump, the president of the United States, who is being accused of these sex crimes with minors, but they're also investigating every other person who allegedly violated underage girls. Now we got to keep on hammering home that they wasn't just girls, but they were underage girls. They were kids. They were elementary students. Let that sink in. Some of the most powerful men in the world, powerful only by the power invested in them by the people. They've not superheroes, because some of them have died off. So not superheroes. They don't walk on water. They don't walk through walls. They can't teleport themselves. Just regular people with because they have a bunch of money or some positions. People give them power. And they use that power to abuse innocent little girls who were in elementary school. Many of them who were in elementary school. Think about that. These are the same dudes, many are the same dudes who are in position to punish others who were accused of violating little girls or little boys. Oh, they'll lock you up in a heartbeat. Oh, you got to go to jail. Oh, and who do y'all remember when this dude said it was a leader of a country? I forgot do I remember the country? I'm not sure if I can remember what the name of the country was and who the leader was. I just remember the leader saying something like, Mexico is sending their worst. They're sending rapists. I just remember the leader saying something like that. Yeah, that was like a few years ago. The leader was saying, they're sending their worst. I want to ask you something, family. Knowing what's in those Epstein files, knowing who's in those Epstein files and what they are accused of doing, would you not agree that they are our worst? Would you not agree that they are among our worst? Forget about the titles. Forget about how much money they got. Forget about the planes, the private planes and helicopters and servants and security. Forget about the dollar signs. Forget about the fancy suits and outfits. Forget about the yachts and the private invitation-only parties. Let's talk about the act. See, because we ain't got no problem signaling out one individual who is accused of violating some children. We ain't got no problem looking at that person as an animal and that person getting locked up and getting 60 years, 70 years, 80 years and having to be, identified as a pedo for the rest of their lives. And even if a person is accused of something like that, they get a slap on the wrist. We still don't forget. And we don't let them in ever again. But all of these powerful people, they just continue to go on with their lives. Some of them are sitting heads of state. And some of us ain't got no problem with it. I'm not going to even say us because I ain't part of y'all. The one y'all that think like that, I'm not part of y'all. Some of y'all ain't got no problem with it. Now, I know there are some Trumpettes in the comments because anytime I put Trump in the title, y'all come running with your tongue hanging out, ready to lick them up. You just swinging from its disco balls. So I'll be watching you. So I know you're in the comments and I know you're making excuses for him. You don't care that he violated them little girls because you probably done violated little girls too. Or you probably won't have your chance at violating little girls. You don't want nobody to come down too hard on you. Just like when your type kills somebody black and you be ready to rush and go put some money on the GoFundMe. You're doing that because you're trying to protect them. You want to make sure, just in case you have to do something like that, or you do something like that, that you catch a break. Somebody shoot you a little money and don't demonize you too much. Yeah, I see you. I know you. I know how you think. I know exactly how you think. Something got to be truly wrong with you, with your head. You got to be sick in the head, sick in the head, to see all of that evidence, to know what's being alleged, and still be 1,000% behind him saying he's the greatest president ever. Things like that. The greatest president ever. You do not care about victims of sexual assault, because I do believe a lot of y'all are predators. That's why you don't care. That's why it's not such a big deal to you, because you're a predator your damn self. Going into the comments. What's up? What's up, Vicky Slaughter? Where you been, Vic? Vicky, you been moonlighting. You been running over there on these other YouTubers' channels, all in the comment, all in the video. I ain't seen you in a minute. So I'm watching you, man. I'm watching you. Yeah. Kathy Griffith, what's up? What's up, Kathy Griffith? What's up, Dee Dee? There go Dee Dee, another one. Dee Dee, I ain't seen Dee Dee in a minute. DeAndre, I ain't seen you in a minute. Where you been? I know you been on YouTube, watching these other YouTubers. I know it, man. Y'all. Boy, man, I thought y'all was with me, man. Boy, it's cold-blooded, man, out here. Boy, YouTube, it's cold-blooded in these YouTube streets, man. Ain't no loyalty whatsoever. No loyalty, man. Brandon Gibson, what's up? As some of you may have recognized, if you follow me on Facebook and you follow me on Instagram, you probably have noticed a change and aesthetically in the way that I post. So my brand, the Willie D Live brand, is transitioning from an individual account to a media account. So you'll see the post on Facebook, you see the post on Instagram, they're more uniform. And so that is because the brand is transitioning to a media account, as opposed to, a personal account. It's now a media account, right? So I'll still be posting stories that interest me and I think that interest y'all. But if you want to hear my personal opinions about things, it's going to be right here. I'm going to keep that going on here, but also on the Willie D Live Conversations channel. But that's more about interviewing and talking to other people about their experiences and trying to get information and gain from them to share with y'all, so that, we can all kind of like, bounce information off each other so that we can, have a better human experience. See what I'm saying, man? That's what I'm trying to get to. That's what I'm trying to get to. Let me win. Say, I see why wokeness is such a problem for this administration. Anyone with competence, common decency, and uncommon sense need not apply. So, it's a trip how, again, this is why I say, like, the Democrats' messaging is really, really bad. Like woke is the opposite of sleep. But yet they allow the Republicans to hijack their term and make it something bad. They allowed them to hijack woke, and make it something bad. When all they had to do was start a campaign and say, woke is the opposite of sleep. Now, would you rather be asleep when serious things are happening in the world, serious things are happening all around you, and we're trying to get things right, we're trying to solve problems. Would you rather be asleep or would you rather be woke? All they had to do was just hit them with the alternative just over and over and over and over again. But they just sat back and let them do it and say it, and just they started getting scared. I started noticing that a lot of Democrats started to not use the word woke because they was afraid they were going to be accused of being woke. You know what I'm saying? Like crazy. That's crazy to me. When you get when you know you got something going on and you know you right, and all you got to do is run with it, keep running with it, keep just beating somebody's head in with it. Whether they like it or not, you just keep on running it. Keep running it. Shove it down their throat like, who's that said that? I shove it down your, that was Chuck D. I shove it down your throat like Barkley. Even though I don't like Barkley. But the rhyme was dope. I like Chuck D. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Mike Dan, what's up? See, Barry got a link in the in the chat. That ain't gonna work. What's up, Tyrone? Jack Hamilton, Brandon Gibson, Truth Speaks. What's up? What's up, Rico Stars? Marjorie Lemons. You know what's crazy is that I never saw the name Marjorie until Steve Harvey's wife. I never knew a Marjorie until Steve Harvey's wife. And then after her, that was Marjorie Taylor Greene, you know, the crazy woman who used to be a congresswoman who allowed the Trump to run her smooth out of politics. Well, I guess she's still probably in politics, but let her run her smooth out of her spot. She let Trump trick her out of her position. Connie Hodge. What's up, G. Johnson? Derek Cleveland. What it do? So the DOJ has files that they've redacted. So now it's not just about redacting files. It's about just, we're not going to even release them, point blank, period. We don't care what the Supreme Court says. We don't care what a judge says. We're not releasing them. Imagine if all of the citizens in this so-called law and order country, this so-called, what did he call it? What did Trump call it? He said he was the law and order president. Imagine if all of the citizens in this so-called law and order country just said, you know what? Well, they ain't going to abide by the laws. They ain't going to respect the laws, or we ain't going to respect the laws either. What if everybody just said, you know what, man? The hell with the law. Then what do you have then? We're supposed to be a nation of laws, right? When the top law enforcement agency in the country says we don't care about the law. Make it make sense, fam. That's worse to me than a parent smoking and trying to warn you not to smoke. Think about that. Your dad up there smoking cigarettes every day. Look at man. Don't smoke. These damn cigarettes bad for you. You know what I'm saying? That's bad, right? But imagine a government who says, we're not going to follow the Constitution that is the foundation for our country. It is the foundation for law and order. We're not going to even follow that. But then turn around and try to punish you for doing the same. Make it make sense. You just can't do it. That's my time, fam. I appreciate y'all joining live. China, appreciate you for regulating that chat. You dig what I'm saying? Till next time, enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. No more talk.